It's Wednesday morning. I'm in the London. Got a red tractor meeting this morning, which should be probably quite spicy, really. Obviously, they've been trying to do different things recently, which a lot of farmers have not agreed with. So, we'll see what they've got to say today. They put a statement out last night saying that they put a pause on some of the reviews of different standards and the green tractor standard. So, we'll see what else they're going to say today. Lads are at home carrying on with that John Deere. See if they're going to send some footage as well. But I'll be back later on today anyway. So wish me luck in the red tractor meeting. Just crossing the Thames. You see all this sort of silt building up. Reckon that'll ever be dredged, or do you think they'll just leave it till the boats can't go up and down anymore? Tell you one thing, it's hard to miss that sign being so high up. That bridge is 6 inch off standard. Back from the red tractor meeting in London, so I'm going to show you what's wrong with the John Deere in a second. But I'll just give you a little bit of an update of red tractor. So anyone that doesn't know, red tractor is a farm assurance scheme. So when you go shopping, if it's got a little red tractor logo on it, it means it's British and it's grown to a certain standard. Anyway, they've been trying to bring in like a green tractor. A lot of farmers already know this, and there's been an uproar about it because basically, this is my opinion anyway, by bringing out a green tractor, which means it's a sustainably farmed, so you've got to tick more boxes, do some different things. It then cheapens the original brand, which isn't particularly strong as it is. That's a brief overview of it. Anyway, there's been a big backlash about it because the NFU sort of knew this was coming and didn't really stand up to them and say this isn't needed at this time, and farmers are not happy about red tractor as it is. So 2 or 3 weeks ago, it all really kicked off to the point where NFU have basically turned around and said, no, you're not on. We want a full review as to why this is happening and into the governance of how it's all done. Red tractor for quite a while have always been a bit like, oh, you know, we were right, we know what we're doing, this is what you should have. Anyway, today, totally different tone in the meeting. Actually, actively listening. I'm not saying they didn't listen anyway, but they might have listened but not done anything, but actually thinking about things now, which is really good. There's also a standard that's been trying to be developed. So they've been trying to bring out a standard which is basically equivalent to imports. Now, we can't get a standard that's equivalent to imports because that will fall below some legal requirements for food safety and stuff. But they have been developing a feed grade standard for the cereal sector. So it won't come out for a while now because there's a complete ban on bringing any new standards out until all these reviews have took place. But in the background, it's been developed over the last few years and they're trying to get around to the nuts and bolts of it. So hopefully, when they have all these reviews are done, if it makes sense, they could bring out this food standard which will make it easier for some farmers that want to only grow for a feed market for the neighbours' cows or whatever like that. Will the maltsters, the millers and the feed merchants accept this standard? Probably not. But if enough farmers said, no, this is it, because you're bringing imported stuff in anyway, I think you should. Maybe if we got enough weight of farmers behind it, they might actually say, okay, well, we'll accept that standard. But that's down the line. But yeah, totally different mood in the meeting today, which was good. Now, the 8:30. So Morgan was taking it apart yesterday. He was sat on the mudguard using it as a bench. He stripped the whole turbo off, which is here. Variable geometry turbo. So I think it's this little pipe here. Changes the vanes inside to make it blow harder or whatever. Turbo's dead simple. The exhaust gases come out the manifold. So you've got 6 exhaust gases, all go into one. Spin that turbine in there, which is a bit hard to see. They spin that propeller, which then is linked by a shaft through the middle to this propeller here, which then is what pushes the air into the engine. So the more the exhaust gases go out, the faster that goes, and the more it pushes air in. It's variable geometry on this, so it means it's got a little pipe that goes off somewhere down here. Or is it electric activated maybe? I don't know. And it can change the vanes, but I think actually it just opens and closes a gap between 2 sets of vanes within there, I think. So it just means that you can mess around with the emissions by doing that. You can make it blow harder, I think, at lower RPM, but then as to make sure that the air flow is right to mix with the diesel. Anyway, that's a little overview of the turbo. But he's took that off, Then he took the mudguard off so we can get lower, and now he's took the head off. This is the head, so this is the valves, 4 valves per cylinder. It's quite a lot of them. There's all the injectors out, that's the rocker cover, that's what opens and closes the valve. That sort of rocker shaft through there. Now, this is the problem. So the head gasket has blown. So that's where it seals. So there's 2 bits of metal. You've got the block here. The pistons go up and down in. And then the gasket goes on and the top's bolted on tight. You have to have it in 2 halves because that's how you make the engine. And this thing in the middle gets clamped. Well, anyway, it's blown. So it's blown here. You can see bits of it just completely disappeared. They then have sort of ended up there, chewing up round these valves. But what's gone wrong? Let me see one that's easy to see. Can you see that crack there? Probably not. Let me try. The crack there. Can you see it on that one? Well, that's blown between the 2 because it's not a flat surface. Let's go around here. Let's find one here. Let's see that there. That's it. Doesn't really show on the phone. But there's basically a crack here. See it there? On a couple of the cylinders. So that pretty much means that is scrap. Now, one of them, without the valves and all the bits, I think off John Deere is about £3,500 exchange. So you give them that back and they'll remanufacture it and then give you a different one. Or a new one is about £5,000. So they've quoted so far. We have spoken to Nick Young, I think his name is, does quite a lot of John Deere parts, and he was getting back to Morgan because Morgan's been ringing him today while I've been in the meeting to see if he's got a head. I don't know whether it was a second hand, sorry, my arm's aching, a second hand one or a reconditioned one, I don't know, but we'll see what he says. But does anyone else know where we can get a head for 7830 John Deere engine? I mean, would it be cheaper in the States? Is it worth having another chat with Corn Thwaites, the John Deere dealer near us, to see if we put it on a stock order, whether they could get it cheaper? Because there's no big hurry. You know, can we take that head somewhere and get them to basically weld it up and remill it? I don't know. But that's where we're at. So it's a bit of a shame, really. We were hoping it was just going to be the head gasket. Yesterday, though, we were a bit worried because of the way it was getting... it was pressurising the oil in the sump. Suggested there could have been something wrong with the piston rings. But it's not. It's just... I did say to Morgan, is it the head gasket blown across an oil gallery? Well, it is and it isn't. It's basically cracked the head. So, yeah, bit of a pain, really, because it's kind of like the heart of the tractor. Don't really know why it's done it. John was driving it at the time with a load of grain, and it got warm, but he didn't really drive it. The only thing we can think of, it was in the summer getting used for raking straw over, with a couple of people driving it that don't drive tractors very often. So don't know whether it could have been getting warm on them one day and they hadn't noticed. Don't know. Don't know whether it bleeps at you when it's warm or it just flashes a light. I'm not sure. But either way, we need a new head or a reconned head, get it back together, and then it's done. Rob came up with the idea, why don't you just sell it broken? So if anyone is interested in a broken tractor, then maybe there we go. But I think we get it fixed first. Electric Merlo, still here. Obviously, I've not been here today. Morgan's been on that this morning, and when it dried up a bit, he went spreading some slug pellets. And then when he got back from spreading slug pellets, he did a bit more work on trying to locate a head. So we've not really used it today. I might, if I can tomorrow, put the little sweepy brush on the front and have a proper play with it. So yeah, there we go. But if you didn't see it yesterday's video, go and watch it, because it's a bit of a walk around the new Merlo. It's well, not new Merlo, the demo Merlo. It's in here ready to be charged up. But to be honest, they haven't used it yet, so the battery's still like 70%, so there's no point in putting it on charge. Not stop talking for a bit. Right, let's go and do the birthdays. I forgot to put the link yesterday for the petition the open letter that they're going to send to the Environment Agency. So the more signatures, the better. So I've done it today, so sorry about that. I did put it on very late last night, but yeah, go and check it out now. The link is below if you want to go and sign it to tell the Environment Agency to sort the stuff out and start dredging again. Just look at them while I was stood on them doing that little bit of filming about the NFU. Them forks are obviously a lot narrower, so they'll fit through packs of bricks a bit easier. But if you notice, the back's still the same width as a normal set of forks. I was like, that's a bit odd, but I know why. I think it's because you're basically spreading a load of the forks onto that bar over a greater distance. And if it was a bit shorter, it'd probably like wear it away quicker. Could be wrong, but just noticed it as walking past and it interested me. Now, I was going to go and do the birthday bumper on the buggy. The spray is wet, but the buggy's also wet because it's been out spreading some pellets and gone through puddles. So I've done it on here, but you can't really see it. But you can if you do this. So you got Jake Morrison is 7, Brogan's on there from the Emerald Isle. Happy birthday. Max Hayes is 11 from Machinery Nation, so check them out. They've got a YouTube channel. Smarty is 64. John Murray's on there. Oscar Westworth is on there. Graham Thomas is a big 7-0, and Douglas Noble is 35. I hope you can see it if we get the angle right. Hold on. I've had an idea. There we go. Happy birthday, everyone on there. This is today's quiz question. What is this off the engine? If you think you know, let me know in the comments. Anyway, that's about all for today. Bit of a random video because obviously there's not been a lot happening, especially with me being in London. But thanks for watching nonetheless. I'll see you tomorrow. Actually, stop press, is that still a thing? Thank you to everyone that sent the gifts. So that's come from Great Eccleston Show, Janet and them. That's brilliant. Thank you very much for that. Look at this little Peter Rabbit thing. That's from Andrew at the Farm Art and the Real Country File. Don't forget, if you've not seen this from Sunday's episode, go and check it out. It's live now. I think Auntie Margaret sent that, and then this is from the Hills Green team as well, which is made by that Bowl and Whisk. Now I think that's where we were eating the sweets when we were at Ashbrook's open day. I think they made all their treats there as well, so thank you very much for that. But yeah, no, nice surprise to come into, lots of parcels. Thank you very much. Anyway, I'm going now, so thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.